Hi, I'm Stina MacDougall. Welcome to the early spring show of Get Outside. For this episode, we'll cover areas in Essex County that you might want to explore during April and May. First, I'll be interviewing Liz Nelson, who wrote this great guide, Right Here, 52 Places to Visit North of Boston. We'll review one of her favorite places, and I hope that you'll get out and explore there as well. It's a perfect time to look in the woodlands for early spring wildflowers. The pussy willows are in bloom, trillium and trout lily should be coming up soon. And if you're careful, you may catch glimpses of turtles or snakes as they bask in the sun to warm up during these cooler months. Our second segment is Richard Walnowitz and Becky DeAngelis bringing us the snakes of Essex County. They have some great video of all the snakes that you could expect to see in the Essex County area. And remember, we don't have poisonous snakes here, so enjoy their video. We'll end with a visit with Sarah Spear, our young naturalist, at Salisbury Beach. She shows us some hot tips on how to take nature shots with a digital camera. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Get Outside, a locally produced television show that features the abundance of natural resources and wildlife that exist right here in Essex County, a small county just north of Boston and within easy ride from southern New Hampshire, southern Maine, and the central and western parts of the state. Our goal is really to introduce you to some of the wonderful places that we have in Essex County. Properties owned by the Essex County Greenbelt Association, Massachusetts Audubon Society, the trustees of reservations, as well as the Division of Forest and Parks and Mass Wildlife. We really want you to take advantage of these properties, get outside, see some wildlife, and really know what you're looking at. So we've offered some tips and some resources that we think are extremely valuable and are worth acquiring. All of the great wildlife that you're seeing and the show is shot locally right here in Essex County. Our show is only 30 minutes long, but if you want more information on natural history in the area and places to go, you can always visit our website, which is getoutsidetv.org. So what we need to do is get outside.
Hi, I'm Stina MacDougall. Welcome to Get Outside. Today we have a special guest, a local author who has literally written the book on places to go and things to do in the Essex County area. The book is Right Here, 52 Places to Visit North of Boston, and the author is Liz Nelson. Hi Liz, welcome to Get Outside.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're quite welcome. It's a little nippy out today. I think spring is in the air.
New England spring.
That's true. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how this book came about.
Well, our family has always been a family that just loved to get outside, so we've been doing that for years. And when a new newspaper started up in the Oxford, Topsfield, Middleton area 7 years ago, I suggested to them that I'd be interested in writing a column specifically about places to go that are right here in our backyards. You know, people travel all over the place to see beautiful things, but our area is absolutely gorgeous. So I started writing thinking, well, you know, a year and a half, I'll run out of places. Well, here it is 7 years later, and I still have a list of places that I haven't yet written about,
really?
That I haven't been to. So some of the places I write about, including in the book, I've been to dozens and dozens of places, and others I've discovered because of the work, and that's been a really exciting part too, is things that I didn't know about that are here.
Sure.
And then we chose, together with a publisher, we chose 52 places, specifically to make the point that this is a year-round guide. There's stuff to do here every single month of the year, every single week of the year.
Right.
And so we selected 52. They're sort of half inside, half outside. Some are great just for kids, some you really don't want to take a child with you.
Right.
There's an index in the back that very much breaks it down according to inside places, outside places, the best places to go in the fall, best places to go in the spring, summer, whatever, and it's just meant for people to pick up and use to discover, we really have this incredible common wealth around us, and the idea is for people to enjoy it.
Great.
Yeah, a lot of people have used it when they have guests from out of town as well. It's sort of hard to gauge what somebody might like, and they'll literally hand the person the book and say, choose what you want, we'll take you there.
Right.
So it's really been fun to hear about the different uses that people have put it to, but including lots and lots of people who lived here their whole lives. Open it up and say,
oh
my goodness.
I was going to say, I've read the book, and I literally counted, and I haven't visited half of the places in this book.
Go.
And yet I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
So there are a ton of places to visit just within the Essex County area.
Right.
We don't have to travel far. They're really close by. It is springtime, believe it or not. It's a little cool today, but we have a sign of spring here with our pussy willows. Are there some favorite places that you'd recommend for folks to visit coming up in the April-May time frame?
Well, one of my favorites is Bald Hill in Boxford. It's very local to me, obviously. I think one of the things I enjoy about it, we're all so anxious for the leaves to come out, but actually when the leaves aren't out yet, we can see so much more in the woods. And one of the lovely things about Bald Hill is the walk around Crooked Pond.
Yes.
Again, with the leaves not being out, you can see right down to the pond. You can see much more of the beaver activity. You can see where, some of the places where they've been chomping at the trees look like they've just done it the night before you've been there. Others you can tell were months or maybe even years ago. You can see the leftover nests in the bushes that are often right along the water's edge, which are really lovely. And then one of the fun things, of course, is you see the results of the beaver activity, which is that when you get back onto the main trail, you best have your boots with you because they have completely flooded the trail.
Yes, I loved your description in here. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well,
what happened to you
specifically? I hadn't realized it had flooded quite as much as it had, and when you have in your mind that you want to do a particular loop, and I've walked in those woods so many times, and I wanted to go a certain way, and I came there and it's just completely flooded in water. And the stubborn little 2-year-old came out in me, and I just took off my sneakers and waded through the water. It's about 30 feet across, and it got very chilly about halfway through.
Cold.
I thought, you silly person, what are you doing walking through this? But I did. Yep. And I recommend you take boots instead.
Yes, you do need almost waders sometimes.
You really do.
In there now with the
but you can see the beaver lodge out on the pond this time of year. It's really lovely what one can see because the leaves aren't there yet.
Right.
And yet it's warm enough so you don't have to be huddled up in 16 layers as you go tromping. So it's
I love the hemlocks, the big rock formations, all the stone walls. It's a great place for birders. Birders are always finding Louisiana water thrush, winter wrens, goshawks, things like that in that area. And even reports of moose having been seen in Bald Hill.
Oh, no, that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And then there's another loop sort of directly opposite from that going up to the right into the Phillips Sanctuary, because actually that whole area is owned by it's Boxford State Forest, the John Phillips Sanctuary, and lots of pockets of land by Greenbelt.
Yes.
So altogether it's over 1,500 acres. And if you go to the right of that main trail, there's a beautiful walk up into very different kinds of woods. It's amazing that they're right next to each other because you have these gorgeous, majestic hemlocks by the pond.
Yes.
You go up here and it's very young growth. There's a lot of birches. You don't have these massive outcroppings. You sort of have, mini New England boulders. It's very open, airy, and it's just very beautiful in its own right. So
and how about the view from the top?
That's lovely too. Yeah,
It
you
really
often
is
see
Bald
hawks up
Hill.
there. It really is Bald Hill. You'll often see hawks up over your head. It's just a really pretty place. So, and again, it's just right here in our backyard.
Right.
The best entrance is right off of Middleton Road in Boxford.
Okay.
And there's a map right at the entrance that you can use. But this is a huge property. It's 1,500 acres. So if you're new to it and you're not up for maybe taking twice the length walk that you planned on,
Sure.
it's a good idea to have a map with you. I mean, sometimes I see people standing at the entrance, jotting down the numbers of the intersections and how they're going to go. But if you can have the map with you, it's a good idea. And you have some places that you can pick it up, right?
This map is available at the Essex County Greenbelt office in Essex. And we'll check out, but possibly local areas in Boxford, perhaps the library and Jack's store, which isn't Jack's store anymore.
Wayne's,
It's that
Wayne's.
Wayne's store. The map is also downloadable from our website, the Get Outside website.
Okay.
And there's also the great little Greenbelt guidebook, which has a map of Bald Hill, along with all of their other properties in Essex County. So those are two other references for the Bald Hill area.
And I think that the Boxford Bay State Trail Guide has a map in it too, along with all the other Boxford properties. So there are various places one can get it, and this is one of those places where it's a good idea to have it with you.
It is good to have a map.
Yeah.
Great. It's a great book. It's just fabulously organized.
Well, thank you.
And I'm inspired. You may not realize, but your book was actually one of the inspirations for our show.
Really?
To Get Outside. Yep. Well documented places on things to do, places
nice
to see, how to get the whole family out.
Yeah, well, that's the fun thing, is that there's so many of these things are just for the whole family.
Yep.
Absolutely. And so many of them are free. I think over half the places in the book are at no cost.
Right.
So.
And there's also contact information if you'd like to call ahead to find out if there's admission prices or whatnot. Well, thank you, Liz, for joining us on Get Outside. This has been great. And while we're here, why don't we head out for a walk?
Right here?
Sure.
Let's go.
Right here.
Well, I really enjoyed meeting Liz Nelson and chatting about her book. If you have company coming in to visit, or just want to go out and explore maybe a different place each week of the year, here's your chance. Right here, 52 places to see. Now let's join up with Becky DeAngelis and Richard Walnowitz as we explore the snakes of Essex County.
In our fields and forests, along the edges of our ponds, rivers, and marshes, and around our houses and gardens are all places where you might encounter some of our native snakes.
Although all of the snakes in Essex County belong to a single family, there is an incredible amount of variation in size, color, diet, reproduction, and behavior amongst these beautiful animals.
Even though many of our snakes are active during the day, their camouflage and secretive nature often guarantee their privacy.
This red-bellied snake is well camouflaged on the forest floor. Primarily nocturnal, it can occasionally be seen out during the day, hunting for its favorite food, slugs and worms. The red-bellied snake is also our smallest snake, reaching a length of only 8 to 10 inches as an adult. On the other end of the spectrum, a water snake can reach a total length of over 3.5 feet.
All snakes need to absorb heat from their environment. Some, like the garter, bask out in the open, but other more secretive snakes like the ringneck bask beneath shed bark or fallen logs, well hidden from the hungry eyes of predators like this barred owl. There is very little overlap in what these snakes choose as their primary prey. The milk snake hunts primarily mice and voles and their young. The ribbon snake, which is found mostly in wetland habitats, prefers frogs and toads, like the spring peeper. And the ringneck, which prefers moist woodlands, hunts primarily redback salamanders.
Some of our snakes lay eggs, while others give birth to live young. The ringneck snake lays eggs in or under rotting logs in the forest. Snake eggs are not brittle like bird eggs, but tough and elastic. As they develop, you can sometimes see the snake right through the eggshell.
Often the only evidence we have of their presence is the shed skins snakes leave behind. As they grow, snakes periodically shed the outer layer of their skin. If you find a shed skin, you may be able to determine what species of snake it came from.
Now get outside and keep your eyes open for these incredible animals. And remember, there are no poisonous snakes in Essex County, so continue to explore and respect all of the creatures who share this beautiful area with us.
That was a great segment on the snakes of Essex County. Even if you're not a snake lover, you have to admit they are beautiful. One thing I like to carry with me when I'm walking any time of the year is a pair of binoculars. It really helps if I spot a turtle or a snake, and without disturbing them, I can zoom in for an up-close look. Now let's head over to Salisbury Beach, where Bob Spear and Sarah Spear bring us some hot tips on digital photography.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm enjoying an early spring day at Salisbury Beach. That's located at the northeast end of Essex County. I brought my digital camera along so I could take some pictures of the things that I see along the beach. of the big differences between a film camera and a digital camera is a digital camera doesn't have film. It stores its pictures on one of these cards. Another difference is the LCD screen. The LCD screen allows me to see my picture before I even take it. There are lots of different kinds of digital cameras. They start at around $100. If you're in the market for a digital camera, be sure to check out all the features ahead of time so you can find the right camera for you. I'm going to take a couple pictures of this shell. One of the things I need to think about is light. It's probably best to shoot when the light's behind you. Today I've got an overcast sky, so I don't really need to worry about that. I'm just going to go in, make sure it's in good focus, get a good picture, take a few shots. Another good thing about the digital camera is I can see the pictures that I just took and see which one I like best. There are so many neat things on the beach. Maybe I'll make a field guide from the pictures that I've taken. I like to take pictures of the ocean, but the one thing that you need to remember is to keep your horizon straight. There's a lot of shells here today. I think I'll take a picture of each different one to put in my field guide. Most cameras have a nice zoom, but don't rely on just that. Get as close to your subject as you can. Don't be afraid to take a few shots of each subject. If you're going to take a picture of an animal, move up nice and slow and take some pictures while you're walking in case it runs or flies away. Most digital cameras are pretty easy to use, but you're going to want to spend some time reading through your book before you head out to use yours. Even though there's a lot you can do on your computer to touch up your photos afterwards, always try to get the best picture you can on your camera first. I just put a list together of some good digital photo resources on our website. Be sure to check it out for some more great photo tips. Well, this has been a nice visit to Salisbury Beach, and I've got great pictures to remember what I saw. The next time you get outside, remember to take your digital camera and get some pictures. Email me some of your favorites, and I'll try to get them up on our website. Well, I've got to go, so I'll see you soon. Bye!
Well, that's it for this episode of Get Outside. As Sarah mentioned, if you'd like to contact us, our website is www.getoutsidetv.org. Thanks for watching.
One morning while looking out the window, something zapped by the opening in the stone wall. I've slowed it down for you to see, and it looks like a long chipmunk. It turned out to be a long-tailed weasel, and we thought it might have got into a rabbit nest and was carrying the young rabbits back to some place where it could eat them comfortably, or it had its own nest and was bringing the young rabbits to its own young. So we watched it for a while. It went back down the wall up to a white pine out in the woodlot and went down a small hole. So we set up near this small hole just to see what was going on. Even some of the local chickadees realized that something was up and were wondering what was down in that hole as well. As soon as the weasel came out again with another little pinky, we began to realize that what it was doing is it was moving its own nest. These are young weasels. It obviously caught my scent and wasn't too sure what to do next, but this is the number 6 young one that was coming out of the nest for this particular morning. You'll see it gingerly carry its young out. Look at me, these are young weasels, and it's certainly something I've never seen before, and we hope that you enjoy watching it as well.